Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and children of all ages. Welcome to part 2 of the State of the Cubs address. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about pitchers. And make sure to stay tuned for a video later on today that will be a very important update for all those of you that enjoy watching baseball videos and really like seeing those baseball videos. We're going to jump right into it. So the Cubs have a very interesting situation for pitching again this year. They have once again overstocked themselves in free agency with pitchers, as well as making a very ill-advised move of signing Edwin Jackson on a 5-year, $50 million deal. So obviously the number one on anyone's chart for the Cubs is going to be Jeff Samardzija. Jeff Samardzija is a guy that the Cubs would love to extend, and I would personally love to see the Cubs extend. He has a lot of explosive pitches. He has great movement on his two-seamer. He's the guy that I think the Cubs should build around a little bit. I think they should sign him to an extension, maybe 2 or 3 years, since he is 30 years old. But you have to factor in the fact that he did play at Notre Dame for so many years, football-wise, and he does have kind of a younger arm. Number 2, this can be a debated spot. A lot of people think maybe Edwin Jackson, since he's ready, but I think the number 2 spot should be Travis Wood. You got a nice 1-2 combination. You got Samardzija, who's going to overpower you with his stuff, and then you got Wood, who's very good at moving his pitches and controlling his pitches, and he's a lefty, so you'll right to lefty. I think those two at the top of the rotation will be very, very good, but some other people might say otherwise. Jake Arrieta comes in at my number 3 starter. Now, Arrieta's probably going to miss, like, the first few weeks of the season. He does have some shoulder issues right now. Arrieta is another guy that I think they could build around a little bit for the future, but Arrieta, he has to develop more consistency throughout his career. I know a few years ago he had very few strikeouts, and I think Jake Arrieta is a guy that they are really going to be able to plug in that rotation for a while. Then the number 4 spot is definitely going to go to Edwin Jackson. I think he's more of a number 5 pitcher, but he's going to get that 4 spot. I really have nothing to say about Edwin Jackson. He really needs to work on damage control. All the pitchers really for the Cubs need to work on damage control. That's just something that the Cubs have never really been good at, is stopping the bleeding and stopping all of the runs from scoring. So Edwin Jackson in particular needs to work on that and improving his pitching. Then the number 5 spot, it's going to be heavily contested this year. You've got 4 guys in spring training who are definitely going to be duking it out for this 5th rotation spot. You've got James McDonald, who recently signed to a minor league deal. You've got Carlos Villanueva, who's still on his deal with Cubs. You've got Chris Russell, who I really personally like. And you've got Jason Hammel, who the Cubs went out and signed 2 weeks ago. So what I would recommend for this 5th spot is, if he can perform well in spring training, I would recommend the 5th spot goes to James McDonald, because James McDonald is really a steal at the position of pitcher, especially in a minor league contract. James McDonald is a very good player. I've seen him pitch a few times on television, and he has a really good curveball, and one of the pitches that extends his curveball quite well. And I think he's the most logical choice for the 5th starter. Now, Jason Hammel, I don't really know what the Cubs were really thinking. Signing Jason Hammel, maybe Jason Hammel will be in a long relief spot along with Carlos Villanueva. That's where I have those 2 guys slotted in at, long relief. Then we go into middle relievers, and you got Fujikawa, who I'm not even sure is going to play for the Cubs this year. I've seen a lot of like projected bullpens and stuff, and I've never seen Fujikawa on any of them. So, and I know he had a 2-year deal last year, so I don't know if Fujikawa can be pitching for the Cubs or what. And we got Hector Rondon, who could possibly be pitching for the Cubs. It all depends on how he pitches in spring training. Wesley Wright, I love the acquisition of Wesley Wright for the Chicago Cubs. It gives them another left-hander. They've really been confined to just James Russell in the past few years, and that's really come to hurt them because they use James Russell for like a batter or 2 that are lefties, or like they did last year, use him in a setup role, which is a very ineffective spot to use James Russell. I think he's more of a situational lefty. But Wesley Wright, you give us a little bit more breathing room for situational lefties. You don't have to just pick and choose so slightly like we did last year. And then Blake Parker. I love Blake Parker as a pitcher. He's a very, very strong pitcher. He was a first-round pick of Cubs a few years ago, and I really do love Blake Parker as a pitcher, and I hope they keep him around for quite a while. And eventually, I'm seeing Blake Parker developing into a setup man or a closer. I'd much rather see him as a closer than a setup man, because I think he does have closer potential, but they might use him as a setup man just because the next man, the setup man this year, Pedro Strop. I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought there for a second. Pedro Strop, he's got an overpowering fastball. He's got really great movement on his pitches. And overall, he's a very strong pitcher. Some see him becoming the closer next year, or if they trade Jose Veras this year. I would like to see Strop stay in the setup role, because you go to like a tiring reliever or something whose velocity is falling a little bit, or one of these other middle relievers who doesn't really have a ton of velocity. You go from them to Pedro Strop, who's just lighting it up on the radar gun, and then you bring it to Blake Parker, who's just got such great pitching. I think that would be a deadly combination right there. But anyway, Pedro Strop becoming the closer isn't such a bad thing because he does such. So we come to the actual closer, Jose Veras. And Jose Veras was actually very good last season. I think that Jose Veras will be very good with the Cubs. He gives them a guy at the end of the bullpen to really, they can really rely on. I would like to see them re-sign Kevin Gregg at some point too and plug him into this rotation somewhere. Gregg was a really good player last year too. But Jose Veras is definitely going to do good. Expect the Cubs to move him sometime before the deadline if he is doing well. I don't think they're just going to they might need to retire contract if they can get a good prospect in return. So guys, overall, the bullpen is looking very strong for the Cubs this year with a few acquisitions. The starting rotation is very, very overpacked, full of guys. Expect them to possibly run a 6-man rotation. That was something that I would love to see them do, is run a 6-man rotation. But other than that, I would like to thank you guys for watching this video, putting up with me, and enjoying me talking about the Cubs. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please click the like button if you really do enjoy. Subscribe for more Star Wars Battlefront and baseball stuff, and I will see you guys later.